Hey, it's Fran Harris with another question of the day in 3, 2, and go. Hey, it's Fran again. Hope you're doing well today. I want to talk to you about something that I get asked. That's a hard word to say, asked a lot. And that is, have you always been this confident? And the answer to that question is to some degree, right? We don't come to this place as children, as babies, as newborns. When we come here through our moms, we don't even know what insecurity is all about. We have no idea what it means to not be secure. We really don't. We have to learn to be unconfident. So the answer to that question is kind of yes. I've always been this confident, and so have you. You had to learn to be unconfident. You had to learn to be insecure. We all had to learn those things. And isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing that the shortcomings that you have, the insecurities that you have, you had to learn them? When you were a baby, you didn't know what was not possible for you. You didn't. You learned over time by the words that you heard from the people who raised you, whether those are teachers or parents or pastors or friends or relatives. You learned to think that you couldn't do things. You learned to think that you were incapable of doing things. So I will say to you today that just as you had to learn to become unconfident, you can learn to become more confident. And confidence is not about imposing your will on other people. Confidence is a very internal thing. Confidence is a knowing. It is a believing. It is a knowing and a believing that everything you need, you already have. It's a knowing and believing that everything you want to do, you have the ability to do it. There is the ability within you to do it. There's the ability within you to attract a great friend or a great partner or a great spouse or a great mate. There is the ability within you to make 6 or 7 figures in a month. That ability is in you. There is the ability within you to do amazing things. What you have to figure out are the skills to get to that place. A good friend of mine was working a fantasy camp, a fantasy basketball camp with me. Olympia, thank you for saying this. Olympia said, the interesting thing about the women who are attempting to play basketball in this fantasy camp is that they think they can't do these things, but it's not that they can't do this, is that they don't know how yet. And that's what I'll say to you. Whatever it is that you want to do, it's not that you can't do it, it's that you don't know how yet. And a lot of people will tell you that if you just believe it, then you can achieve it. And believing is good. Believe me, I'll do a whole nother video on belief. Believing is good. Sometimes you just have to do it. Sometimes you just have to do the thing that you want to do, and the believing comes second. It's not always the case. Sometimes people believe and then they do. But more often than not, it's better to just step out on faith and just to start doing it. Just take one step in the direction of what you want, and the belief will ultimately come. The belief will ultimately come, okay? So to become more confident, 2 ways to do it. You can keep telling yourself, I can do this, I can do this. But if you never really try to do anything, you're not really going to become confident in that skill. You're just not. The other way to do it is to say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take complete, clumsy, imperfect action, which is what I love to say that I do. I've done most of my life. I don't necessarily know whether I can do something, but I believe that if I take clumsy, imperfect action, meaning I'm just going to try to do it, we'll see what happens. Guess what happens? I get more confidence. I get more confidence. I get more confidence. And then ultimately, that thing that I didn't think that I could do, all of a sudden I'm doing that thing. And guess what? The doing, the repetition builds the confidence. So if you want to be more confident, take some risks. If you want to be more confident, be willing to be uncomfortable in the things that you want in your life. And ultimately, you'll start to build your confidence. Okay? Until next time, go out there and make your move, make your mark, and make your difference. See you soon.